Hey YouTube, Salvador Briggman here with the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel, and on today's video we were going to discuss how do you run a successful GoFundMe campaign that actually raises funds. How do you set this thing up for you and for your specific cause, for your project, whatever you're raising money for. We're talking about that today. Alright, so let's get right into this. If you're trying to raise money for charity or for a cause using GoFundMe, how do you set up a killer campaign? How do you set up one that actually raises funds? And how do you position yourself so that you can raise even more? I'm sure you've seen some of the very successful GoFundMe campaigns out there. Some of them raising 5 figures, some of them raising 6 figures for a myriad of different things under the sun. Could be for medical bills, could be for travel costs, could be for a wedding, education related expenses. There are tons of ways that you can actually raise money using GoFundMe. And what I want to get into today is the sort of 3 steps that you have to go through in order to have a successful crowdfunding campaign. And whether it is on GoFundMe or another site like YouCaring, or even just doing a Facebook fundraiser, these are the points you're going to have in mind and you're going to have to hit in order to see success using crowdfunding. So the first one is going to be the actual cause. Let's talk a little bit about the cause, or what it is that you're raising money for, because I don't think there's enough attention put on this. If you're browsing through GoFundMe, you can see some of the projects and some of the causes that already are almost virtually guaranteed to get attention. And those tend to be medical bills and expenses, travel costs, education related costs, and these types of charity, or I guess you would say cause related fundraisers, are what make up most of the campaigns on GoFundMe. You also have other things like animals and pet related crowdfunding campaigns, but the ones that you maybe don't see so much are like raising money for a business. That's usually not as popular on GoFundMe. Typically you're going to be using other sites like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or other ones out there in order to raise money for a business. It's very easy to think about your cause and you think about yourself. Like, why is it that you need this? And almost having like this pleading, needing energy, like, oh my gosh, I really need this. This is so horrible, this event that happened to me. This is something that I need. However, every successful GoFundMe campaign also takes into account the people that you're gonna be asking to actually give money to that cause. So let me sort of break that down a little bit. Let's just say that you're trying to raise money for education related cause. That's awesome. I think it's really important. Education is the foundation and the backbone of every successful career. The question is, how is your education or your impact in this particular field going to impact others? For example, let's just say you're trying to raise money to go to medical school. Okay, that's great, that's awesome. So you're gonna be earning eventually a high salary, you're gonna be doing some really important work. How does your work impact other people? Are you gonna become a doctor in a low income community? Are you gonna do something like Doctors Without Borders? Are you gonna be doing the Peace Corps? What are you gonna be doing with your education in order to benefit other people and society at large? For those of you out there that maybe have like a more of a non-profit and you're raising money for a different cause, let's just say you're raising money for something like charity, or you're raising money for a larger cause. This, I think, it's really important to think about. How is it that your cause or this problem that you're trying to solve, you're trying to raise money for, how does this impact other people? So cancer, what are the people that have been impacted by that? Why is that a horrible thing in our society? Why is it that this is a problem that needs solving and you in some way have the solution, or whatever it is that your nonprofit organization is going to do is going to alleviate that problem in some way? You're tangibly going to be trying to attack that problem, and you're going to be doing it in a very transparent way. Think about the cause. Who cares about that cause? Who's going to resonate with that cause? And also, we'll get into next, how do you communicate that? A simple thing that I like to do when thinking about this cause, because it can kind of be like a little bit abstract, is to assign a cost. That could be a monetary cost, that could be a time-related cost. Think about the cost. For example, let's just say that you're put out of work because of disability. And normally you'd be able to work in order to provide for your family. What is the cost of this new surgery that you're going to have to go undergo? And also, what are the emotional costs? What are the related time-related costs? What are you missing out on? And what is this fundraiser, this money, what is that cause? What is that going to enable you to do when it comes to the cause? So having the money to maybe undergo surgery is then going to enable you to go back and join the workforce. You're then going to be able to support your family. It's really the beginning of a different radical shift in your life. And if you continue to go along this path, unfortunately, there's going to be a huge cost to not only yourself, but also to the other people in your life. And that's why it is that this cause is important. things are only important because of the costs or the stakes related to them if these problems go unsolved. The second component of GoFundMe success, after you've identified an important cause that people care about and that is not only just related to you, but that you can sort of, talk about this in a way that's going to be meaningful to other people, the second most important thing is to wrap all of that into a story. So this is kind of like the research phase is the cause. Then you're going to wrap this into a story. And this story is what you're going to use to actually communicate your cause to other people. Other people, they don't want to listen to you plead or beg for money. If someone already knows you, like your family, they already have a pre-established relationship with you. You've done things together, you've maybe exchanged gifts in the past, you have shared memories, there's a pre-established relationship. So if you say something like, I really need money for this reason, they are far more likely to just open their wallet and help you because there's that foundation of a relationship there. However, if you come to me, or if you come to a stranger, if you come to someone else and you're like, hey, I need money for X, Y, and Z, you're probably going to be like, sorry, I'm not really interested in, giving money to charity or something like that. However, if you tell a compelling story in terms of why it is you need this money, in terms of the things that happened to you that led to this moment in your life, and you allow someone to empathize with you in that way. And nonprofits do this all the time. I'm sure you've turned on the television before and you've seen the story of a little boy that's in Africa that now needs badly needed education, and with your donation of $5 per month, it's going to help that individual. Nonprofits know that storytelling is a way that you make people care about a cause. And this is also what I teach to many different nonprofit organizations. So in order to get people to care about this cause, you have to wrap all of this into a compelling story. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying you have to be write a novel or something like this, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna show people visually and also using the campaign text what it is that happened, how that made you feel, what are the different costs that are resultant of that, how can people help, and tell the story of the reason why you need these funds and the impacts that those funds are going to make, the before and after, the radical shift that someone can make in your life or in the cause if you're a nonprofit. Storytelling is all about empathy. People have to feel for you before they are willing to give money to your GoFundMe campaign. The way that you make people feel about you, or to put themselves in your situation and to imagine, if this happened to me, I would feel X, Y, and Z. Or if I was in that situation, man, that would be horrible. The way you create empathy is with storytelling, and this is backed by science. I actually have another YouTube video out there going through how these scientists and how these researchers basically conducted a study, and they showed that when someone is giving money to charity, typically the two emotions that they're feeling are empathy and distress. Empathy meaning they empathize with the person that's going through a really difficult situation, and distress meaning hearing about that story and feeling and almost putting themselves in the shoes of that person. They feel stress, they feel a sense of distress, and by giving money, they're almost alleviating that feeling that they have within themselves. So that's a really interesting YouTube video. I'd recommend going and checking out. I'll also link it up down below. Lastly, the most important element of storytelling is it creates humanization. People view you as a human. It's also a way that they can participate. It's a way that they can impact what it is that has happened to you. It's a way that they can sort of extend a hand, if you will, and affect your life. And I think that that's something that we all crave to do, even in a small way. It's something that particularly millennials and the millennial generation, they want to see that they're having an impact on other people. So a story will actually humanize this cause. You're not just another random face on the internet. It's kind of like not real. If you just see a random person with no face, just a name, asking for money with a vague GoFundMe campaign, no one is going to give money because they don't know if that's a scam or not. They're not actually sure if this is a real person. Do they actually need the funds? What a story does, a well-constructed story, is it humanizes you and it makes you seem like an actual another human being. The third and the final most important part of a successful GoFundMe campaign is the marketing and the promotion of that campaign. So I'm going to say marketing/promo. I know that a lot of people out there, they don't like the idea of having to share their GoFundMe campaign. They don't like the idea of maybe having to spread the word to friends and colleagues that they're doing this thing and to be seen publicly as, asking for money. Like, they don't want to put themselves in that situation, but it is pivotal and it is crucial that you actually go out there and you reach out to your network, and you also spread this in different places around the internet. To give you an example, just even simply sending a Facebook message can have a profound impact where someone actually realizes this is just something that you need, this is something that's important to you, and people are willing to give money in that way. The research has shown that most of the donations and the giving that happens on GoFundMe happens from Facebook, it happens from email, it happens from text messages and personal calls. Every once in a while you have a campaign that like blows up and is a viral sensation. I can show you, I get into a little bit of how to do that and how to get strangers to give money to your campaign. But most of the funding that happens, most of the donations that happen on GoFundMe come from you actively reaching out, sharing this on Facebook, sharing this on Twitter and social media, and that's how you get distribution for your project. You might have had to pay someone to do this, years and years ago, to maybe send out mailers or something like that. But now you can actually share this campaign on social media. Of course, there are other services you can use to enhance that, but you can actually share this on your Facebook, you can share this via email, you can text message people, you can share it on your Twitter, and it's a great way to get more visibility to your campaign. Every good marketing strategy is going to include what I call distribution. So distribution could be on Facebook, Twitter, other social networks. It's also going to include direct outreach to friends and family, direct outreach to a local newspaper, direct outreach where you're picking up the phone, you're texting people, you're sending them a direct message on Facebook. Direct outreach is pivotal when it comes to crowdfunding campaigns. And finally, it's telling that story. It's telling the story that we're talking about in point number 2. That's really what's going to make a difference, because if you don't tell a story, and I think this is probably one of the most important parts, if you do not tell a compelling story about your crowdfunding campaign, people are going to kind of write you off. I know that sounds very harsh, but if you actually were to look on GoFundMe, you look to all these pleads and asking for charity, there are so many people that have worthy causes. There's so many people that actually need funds, but they're not able to communicate it in a way that other people empathize with them or they actually care about it. So this is kind of the secret sauce, if you will, in terms of how to get attention, how to then convert that attention into donors and people giving money. This is the 3-step process behind GoFundMe success. I know there might be still some question marks in your head in terms of how do you actually put together this effective story? What are you gonna do? What are you going to say when you're going out there to your friends and family and trying to promote this campaign? How do you identify whether or not your cause is a good one? How do you reach out to strangers, get strangers to support your campaign? How do you even get any kind of media attention? Like, you don't even know where to begin with that. And that is why I've put together a comprehensive course that will walk you through this step by step. For the first time ever, I am doing a exclusive YouTube promotion where I'm basically cutting the cost of that course by 80%. I'm making it super simple for if you're interested in enrolling in that. And you can also learn a little bit more about that in the link in the description. But let me tell you what you're going to get with this course. The first thing you're going to get is fundraising outreach templates. These are basically helping you script the email, the template. You can literally just copy and paste if you want to, script the email that you're going to send to your friends and family, and also those social media messages and those messages that you can send to arouse their interest, to get them, really wanting to help you, to, kindle those emotions that we talked about with empathy and realizing this is something that's important to you. And how do you word that? How do you send that? I detail all of that in these fundraising templates. In addition, I'm sure that you already know, probably browsing around YouTube, that there are a lot of things that you got to do with a crowdfunding campaign in order to be successful and to maximize your time. If you're already taking the time to put together a campaign, you might as well do it right. And that's why I have a complete fundraising template and also a fundraising checklist. So this checklist will help you going through and identifying all the little minor things that you got to do, and also some of those red flags that you do not want to include with your campaign. So this fundraising checklist is just an easy way. So if you go down this thing and if you meet every single item on this list, you are in a really good position to do well with your GoFundMe campaign. Along with these 2 items, which are actually bonuses, which I include in the course, I've gone through and I've created comprehensive video training modules showing you exactly how to spread the word about your campaign. How do you get strangers to donate? How do you have people actually interested and care about what it is that you're doing online, and make this thing not just like, maybe I'll raise $5 or $10, but actually hitting your goal and hitting those larger amounts. It's taken me a long time to figure out how to do this. I've actually written a book called Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, where I share a lot of my findings, and this is kind of like the next level, where this is leveling up everything I've shared in that book, which actually a lot of people have really enjoyed. If you're wondering how to do this and how to accomplish this, how to craft a powerful story that gets people wanting to give money, how do you hit those emotions that make people want to give, how do you market and promote this, this is really the nitty-gritty, step-by-step tutorials that you're searching for. So why am I offering a paid product? You know, why not just upload this on YouTube? Well, honestly, it takes a ton of time to put together these videos, and also to research this, to understand this, to interview people, to understand the mechanisms that go behind a successful GoFundMe campaign. It's taken me just like so much time to figure out these techniques and these principles which are proven to work. So I want to offer this to you, and I think a way to meet you halfway with this is to offer you a really great discount on the course. But I also only want people that are serious about this, that are actually going to take action, and that are hungry to figure out how do you make this thing work for you or for your nonprofit organization. I'd say there are two crowds here that are really going to benefit from what I'm offering right now. I urge you also go and check out the page where I tell you a little bit about more of what you're getting. But I think the first one is going to be, if you are an individual out there and you're kind of struggling to raise money, or you don't really know what to do or how to put together a good campaign, and you're serious, like you need these funds, you want to have the best chance possible of success, and you've enjoyed maybe some of my other videos out there thus far, I think that's a great candidate as a student for this course. You're raising money for, could be medical bills, it could be something like costs for going and traveling and volunteering, could be education related costs, any kind of personal costs. I think it would be a great student for this course. In addition, I think if you're a nonprofit organization out there and you're trying to expand your offering, you're trying to do a little bit of online fundraising, this is a no-brainer, I think, for nonprofits, honestly, because not only are these techniques going to work with GoFundMe, but you can also use them in other networks and other online fundraising mediums. So it's really a no-brainer for nonprofits. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. You took a few things out of it, and at least now you know the importance of communication, of storytelling, and of marketing, and how that can play into a mega success when it comes to crowdfunding. And I also invite you to check out some of the other videos I got out there on GoFundMe, on online fundraising, on charity fundraising. I am the real deal. I share only techniques and strategies that are proven to work, that have taken a lot of time to unearth and discover. So I hope you enjoy them. My name is Salvador Briggman. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Come subscribe if you want more content like this, and I will see you next time.